Bree Wood with BIN News Now. The NYPD says more than 2,000 illegal guns have already been taken off the streets this year. NYPD Commissioner Jessica Tisch.
Through the first 5 months of this year, New York City has seen the fewest murders, the fewest shooting incidents, and the fewest shooting victims in recorded history.
During a news conference on National Gun Violence Awareness Day, Commissioner Tisch credited this drop to strategic enforcement and precision policing. Senator Raphael Warnock says the Supreme Court has done violence to democracy, pointing to recent rulings on voting rights. He called those protections one of the nation's most urgent moral issues and emphasized the role of faith in shaping public life. And Lauryn Hill will be honored at the 2026 BET Awards. She is set to receive the inaugural Living Legend Icon Award, recognizing her lasting impact on music and culture, with the show airing live June 28th. Get BIN News Now on demand 24/7 on the iHeartRadio app.
Watch us on Facebook Live. Then hear us on WBOK1230.com.
Yo, turn it up. It's Gerard on the air, spitting truth in the booth. We ain't going nowhere. New Orleans City got us hard in the beat, but corruption creeping in, gotta take back the street. But corruption creeping in, gotta take back the street. From the French Quarter vibes to the Ninth Ward grind, he's the voice of the people, yo, he's one of a kind. Talking about the struggle, the hustle, the pain, but with each word he drops, he's bringing power to the game. Gerard on the radio, calling out the lies, bringing light to the dark, keeping hope in our eyes. He's the voice of the people, making changes unfold. In the city of NOLA, we're reclaiming our soul. Try to silence the truth, but he's loud and clear. From the bayou to the block, everyone can hear. Got the people united, it's a movement, no doubt. With his mic in hand, he's breaking all the clout. City eat the official scheming, yeah, they playing it slick. But Gerard's on the line and he's ready to kick. For the schools and the streets, he's fighting the fight. With a heart full of passion, he's igniting the night. Gerard on the radio, calling out the lies, bringing light to the dark, keeping hope in our eyes. He's the voice of the people, making changes unfold. In the city of NOLA, we're reclaiming our soul. From the jazz in the streets to the gumbo pot, he's the pulse of the city, giving all he's got. Together we rise, united we stand. With Gerard on the radio, we're taking back our land. So tune in, y'all, let the truth resonate. With Gerard on the mic, we're rewriting our fate. In New Orleans, the power is ours to embrace. Keep it real, keep it loud, let's uplift this place. In the streets to the gumbo pot, he's the pulse of the city, giving all he's got. Together we rise, united we stand. With Gerard on the radio, we're taking back our land. So tune in, y'all, let the truth resonate. With Gerard on the mic, we're rewriting our fate. In New Orleans, the power is ours to embrace. Keep it real, keep it loud, let's uplift this place. Gerard on the radio, calling out the lies, bringing light to the dark, keeping hope in our eyes. He's the voice of the people, making changes unfold. In the city of NOLA, we're reclaiming our soul. Yeah, tuning out, let the truth resonate. With Gerard on the mic, we're rewriting our fate. In New Orleans, the power is ours to embrace. Keep it real, keep it loud, let's uplift this place. Gerard on the radio, calling out the lies, bringing light to the dark, keeping hope in our eyes. He's the voice of the people, making changes unfold. In the city of NOLA, we're reclaiming our soul. Yeah, let the truth resonate. With Gerard on the mic, we're rewriting our fate. In New Orleans, the power is ours to embrace. Keep it loud, let's uplift this place. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. What? You don't like my yeah?
Don't
Yeah?
let me come in here all
Yeah,
30
yeah.
seconds before we're supposed to be on the air.
Yeah. Yeah.
We've been fighting for the people,
Been
bruh.
fighting for the people.
We've been fighting for the people.
I threw my fist up. I had you.
Boy,
back.
you're looking like Napoleon Dynamite doing
That's
that.
right.
Woo.
That's all right. Don't forget the last name.
Fighting for the people today.
Dynamite. What's going on, good people? Oh boy, what a
Oh,
day.
if y'all could just see what goes on behind the scenes.
They should not see that. They should not see that one. No.
Lord.
It's been a day, brother.
It's been a day?
It's been a day.
What's been happening like that?
We are preparing to file tomorrow our
Federal court.
federal court temporary restraining order against the Housing Authority of New Orleans in its hostile takeover bid of Gust. As you know, the notice of termination for convenience of all things. Convenience was issued, and it's supposed to be effective on July the 1st, 2026. However, Hano has sent emails saying they're sending Larry Barabino over on June 15th to do an inspection and to talk to all the residents and whatever else he wants to do in the hostile takeover bid for Gust Management.
But I thought that he was there for another reason. I thought they said he was coming
Look,
from another.
this is a
another
shell game. This is a horse trade. We all know it is.
Mm.
They're going to have me explore that Friday meeting they all had
Mhm.
over on Broad Street,
Uh-oh.
right before Larry Barabino resigned, quote unquote, from Nord, and somehow next day miraculously ended up at Hano, and now miraculously seems to be taking over Gust. And who was actually behind it? Who was actually at the table?
Mm.
It's going to be very interesting.
Didn't somebody get fired?
Well, yes. Travis Chase got fired to make room for Larry Barabino.
Uh-oh.
And now they're trying to terminate the
Wait a minute.
Gus Housing Residence Management Corporation.
Travis Chase. Ain't he part of the Chase?
Yes, he is.
Family?
Yes, he is. He
From,
was
Dookie Chase?
terminated, blindsided, didn't know he was being terminated. To make room. And all this happened after a very curious meeting over on Broad Street. But nonetheless, I digress.
No. You can't stop there. What do you mean a curious meeting on Broad Street?
Well, I understand there was a meeting on Broad Street that included a few key players that seemed to be involved in this shell game going on. But we're going to get into that in court at some point. But what is important for my purposes today
Mm-hmm.
is that this takeover was supposed to be effective July 1, but for whatever reason, they're trying to take over on June 15th, knowing that we have filed suit against them in federal court and knowing that we're challenging the takeover and knowing that a temporary restraining order was coming. So at any rate, it'll all come out in the wash, likely to come out in the wash this week, a lot of it, and the rest of it is to be explored. But I find a lot of horse trading going on.
Mm-hmm.
You know, people sacrificing some people for the benefit of themselves and their close friends.
So is that the sacrificial lamb?
Yeah, I think we're seeing a lot of that. I think we saw it in Baton Rouge with respect to Rhonda Good Douglas.
Yeah.
Now I think we're seeing it play out in this Hano situation.
You know what I like, though?
What do you like, Chief?
I like the fact that the people that are being put in place to be the sacrificial lambs ain't scared to fight.
No, they're fighting back, and I love that for them. I just am sad for the criminal court judges who now have to run against their colleagues, didn't expect to have to run,
Right.
didn't expect to have to generate a war chest for a big election, really thought they were going to be unopposed in their bid to be reelected because they were doing such a great job. And now they have to run a real race against a colleague due to no fault of their own and due to some horse wrangling in the case of Rhonda Good Douglas in Baton Rouge. So we'll see how it all plays out. But look like black folk are turning on each other right and left for their own benefit. Here in Louisiana, here in New Orleans in particular. And I don't like it. I don't like it one bit.
So they're actually being put up against one another.
Absolutely. These are people who, normally when an incumbent judge has done a great job, they might have a few fundraisers along the way just in case they might get some opposition. But typically, they're not really pressed to do a lot of fundraising because they really don't think they're going to have an opponent if they've been doing everything they're supposed to do on the bench, right? Well, now, these three judges who, to no fault of their own, but due to clandry in Baton Rouge and the legislature, and I would say our city council and mayor who laid down on the issue, are now going to have to run against their colleagues in November. And so now, in a 6-month period of time, they have to raise a war chest. They have to decide who they're going to run against. And they're going to have a whole election for something that they had already been duly elected for by the voters. And I think that is problematic. It is unfortunate. And it is the result of horse trading in Baton Rouge. And let me be very clear about what I mean by horse trading. You want to benefit yourself or a relative or a close friend, usually financially, and so you sacrifice somebody else. And I think that is what has happened here, both in the case of the judges and the clerk, and in the case of what's happening to Cynthia Wiggins and the management corporation, the resident management corporation at Gust. So it's unfortunate, but I think it's going to all be worked out at some point, either by the voters or by courts.
I just don't think that this is the end of it. I think that whatever they are planning to do, this is just the start, because there's going to be more, what you call it, horse trading, eventually anyway. And I'm not saying that in a way that's, good. I'm saying whatever they're going to do, they're going to do it. And this is just the start. It doesn't make sense why they're doing this now.
No.
It really doesn't. It doesn't make sense. For what reason? They're telling me because it's, financial. But this state is usually last in everything that's good and first in everything that's bad. So you can't tell me it's financial reasons because you kind of stood there and let, $72 million pass us by in financial food in the summer for our kids. What else has he done? He has cleared out and let Trump clear out anything that had anything to do with civil rights. You have taken elderly rights away, and you're adding data centers, which are going to be in areas of, I think, where there's a population of black people. And you're going to continue to do these things that's adding nothing good financially or environmentally safe to this state.
Right. And to be clear, Governor Clandry signed into law today a pair of bills cutting New Orleans judges. He ended up signing a bill that cut the criminal district court judges from 12 down to 9, beginning on January 1. It also cut 2 of the 4 juvenile court judges in New Orleans. So those 2 also are going to have to run against a colleague.
Terrible.
And it eliminated a pair of seats from the city's municipal and traffic court bench, which currently has 7 judges. The Orleans Parish Civil District Court was originally targeted for 2 cuts, but all 14 of those judges were spared. Landry signed the bill into law despite an 11th hour amendment that swapped in District Judge Rhonda Good Douglas as one of the 3 judges to be removed, sparing her less tenured colleague, Leon Roche. I think that's going to be trouble for Roche for re-election. And I think they're going to run for him,
Probably.
for his seat.
Probably.
I know I would if I was in that position. Calling Good Douglas the best judge, Landry criticized the move when the revamped version cleared the legislature on the final day of the session, but he signed it. And Simone Levine and newly elected Judge John Fuller are the 2 other criminal judges on the chopping block.
So we got to let everybody know that on Thursday, our guest will be John Fuller.
Correct.
So the judge currently, John Fuller, will be here on Thursday to discuss the issue. We had a chance to talk to Ms. Judge Rhonda Good Douglas. We had a chance to talk to Judge Simone Levine. Coming in on this Thursday will be John Fuller, Judge John Fuller.
Correct.
We will also try our best to get Judge Roche to come in and talk to us too about this. And where does that leave him? Where does that put him? Does that put him in a positive position with the public, or do they say that, this is privilege?
Unfortunately for Leon Roche, who also I don't know much about him, but unfortunately for him, he's caught in the crossfire.
Yep.
Of what everyone is hearing was Gary Carter Jr. trading off Rhonda Good Douglas for his cousin, Leon Roche.
Mm-hmm.
So he's kind of caught in the crossfire too, but I think it's going to leave him vulnerable. I don't think that the public is going to be very happy.
Not going to look favorable
with that. They're not going to look favorably on that. So it's going to be very interesting to see how that goes. Also, Governor Landry signed into law some voter identification laws that I think are going to be criticized heavily by organizations like NAACP and the Urban League. Senate Bill 319, which was authored by Thomas Presley, reflected Louisiana's latest effort to tighten and standardize election procedures ahead of the 2027 election cycle.
Mm-hmm.
This was a Republican agenda. The legislation establishes uniform statewide voter identification standards at polling places. Supporters argue the law removes uncertainty for both voters and commissioners by clearly identifying acceptable identification methods and verification procedures. The key components of this law is that they're creating a single statewide standard for voter ID requirements. It clarifies what forms of identification are acceptable, reduces discretion and inconsistency among polling locations, maintains alternative verification methods for eligible voters who may not possess traditional photo identification, and it requires implementation training for election officials before rollout. The effective date of this is July 1, 2027. The debate about this is going to be that it's going to be like poll tax. They're going to make it harder for certain segments of the population to vote, is what opponents are saying. So
is that the ID issue?
Yes. Mm-hmm. So, it's going to be very interesting. I mean, they are really trying to deter
But one of the
people from
laws,
voting.
I think that's a national law, that if you are who you say you are, even if you don't have your ID, that you can call the polling commissioner.
Yeah, but how many elderly people are going to do that? Okay. I mean, critics argue that stricter voter ID laws disproportionately affect elderly voters, low-income residents, disabled voters, rural voters, college students, and minority communities. And the concern is not necessarily that people lack eligibility to vote, but that some voters may lack current government issued identification. For example, there are a lot of people around here riding dirty. They have a license still when they lived in Florida, or a license that they have an ID that they didn't renew timely, or it may be expired to a certain extent, or it may have been taken from them because they got a ticket. Transportation also, people lack transportation to obtain those kind of documents. Access to DMV offices in some places like rural communities is hard. Or the financial resources and time needed to secure compliant identification is problematic for people who work a 9 to 5 and just don't have flexibility in their day. So many opponents argue that there's little evidence of widespread in-person voter impersonation fraud in the first place. And so why are you even doing this? And then because Louisiana is part of the Deep South with a long history of involving literacy tests and poll taxes and discriminatory voting practices, civil rights advocates often view stricter election laws through that historical lens. So, he signed it. It's another bill,
Yep.
I think, targeted towards the poor and minority voters in their state. But it is what it is.
But right now, we do know that there were over 900 bills that were looked at, talked about, voted upon in this session. So out of that session, I guess my question would be, how many of those bills help us? I wonder, did anybody find out, anybody ask the question, how many of those bills in this session, all 900 of them that the governor signed, help us?
I don't know. I want to talk about this topic because, whenever it's one of us, man, do they parade it out on Front Street and do they want to talk about it? So I want to talk about this. Former DeRidder Mayor Misty Roberts was convicted of multiple sex crimes after a 2024 party in which she was charged with having sex with her son's 16-year-old friend. Was ordered by a judge Tuesday to serve 90 days in jail for that crime. 90 days.
That's it?
90 days. He also ordered her to abstain from drugs and alcohol.
That's it?
And to submit to random drug screenings, to pay monthly supervision fees, and to have no contact with the victim and his family. And if she violates any of these conditions of her 5-year probation, then she'll serve 10 years in prison.
She booting up to the churn?
But how do you like this slap on the wrist?
That's a slap on the ass.
Whatever it is, Mayor Cantrell,
Right.
okay, for inappropriate behavior, some people think, is over there in federal court
With a grown man.
fighting for her life behind a grown man. And this woman, who happens to be white, is getting a slap on the wrist, in my opinion.
On the ass.
Wherever you want to slap her, a slap on the wrist, I'm going to say, for inappropriate conduct with a juvenile. Let's be clear.
What my name?
This woman is a pedophile.
What my name is. What my name is.
This is a pedophile, and this is what she received, a slap on the wrist. I really do think there is a double standard.
It's like women can't be pedophiles.
Well, I think this is one of those double standards.
Men are the pedophiles.
Exactly. If this had been a man, and a man had inappropriate relations with a 16-year-old, I think you're correct. I think they would be calling him a pedophile.
And they would not be calling her one.
And they would not be giving him a 90-day sentence.
They calling the boy, that's a notch in your belt.
That's horrible. It is really horrible. And I think there is a double standard here, black, white, and male, female.
That's a notch in your belt.
That makes me wonder, where were they when we were coming up?
I ain't laugh. I didn't laugh.
Because you thought it.
I'm not going to even go
That's
to that.
a notch in your belt.
I'm not going to even go there. It's inappropriate behavior.
Yep.
with the juvenile, and it should have received a much tougher sentence than what it received.
Let's take the break before I get in trouble.
Yeah, take the break before Gerard and Wick over here get in trouble.
Ooh, we'll take the break. That's a notch in your belt, though. That's what that is.
No, it is not. It is inappropriate
That's
relationships
a
with a
notch in your
juvenile.
belt. What my name is? Cougar. Wow. Wow. Woo, woo. Woo, woo. You don't want it? You don't want me to keep going?
No.
Woo, woo, woo.
Take the break. We'll be right back.
More coming up, folks. Everybody hold tight.
Hey, this is D. Riley from the 90s Hits R&B Jams. Make sure you listen to WBOK 1230 AM every Saturday night from 7 until 9 p.m. I'll be giving you the best R&B jams from the 90s. That's right, all your favorites and more. With me, D. Riley, your host of the 90s Hits, right here on WBOK 1230 AM, or listen online at WBOK1230.com. WBOK, the station you listen to longer.
Hey, Delta Utilities natural gas customers. Your new and improved online customer service experience is here. Visit mydu.com to track your usage, choose convenient payment options, learn how to read your bill, and more. If you prefer to pay in person, our customer payment centers are open and ready to serve you. Delta Utilities at mydu.com. That's mydu.com. Improved customer service with you in
The
mind.
New Orleans Jazz and Heritage Foundation is the nonprofit organization that owns the New Orleans Jazz and Heritage Festival presented by Shell. With the funds generated from Jazz Fest, the foundation invests in Louisiana companies through economic development, cultural enrichment, and free educational programs. To learn more about what the New Orleans Jazz and Heritage Foundation does, please visit www.jazzandheritage.org.
LifeCare provides valuable whole life insurance to cover final expenses such as medical bills, burial costs, and unpaid debt. A final expense insurance policy is fast, easy, affordable life insurance that's available to anyone between the ages of 50 and 80. No medical exams, no lengthy questionnaires, and no waiting period. The application process is quick and easy. You can even apply without having to undergo a medical examination. Just answer a few questions and we'll do the rest. With the average funeral cost skyrocketing to $11,000 and Social Security only paying $255, you need simple, affordable peace of mind for you and your whole family. Don't leave behind unpaid expenses that, if left unattended, will burden your family tremendously. Benefits include a guaranteed premium that will never increase, a guaranteed cash value, and a guaranteed death benefit that can never decrease. To find out how you can get final expense insurance with a guaranteed lifetime rate lock, call LifeCare at 800-571-9955. That's 800-571-9955. 800-571-9955.
Making a difference in the community. WBOK 1230 AM. Here we go. The reality check on WBOK 1230 AM.
All right, folks. Welcome back. Welcome back. Gary, you've been holding on. What's going on? Gary?
Hello.
Yes, sir.
Hi, this is Gary Crockett. How you doing?
Good. How you doing?
I'm doing great. Well, first I had a question about whether or not she was going to be registered as a sex offender. But in addition to that, from this past legislative session, I don't think that we had anything that was to our benefit.
Nope.
Even the one bill that was passed that the governor just vetoed was for compensation for the exonerees.
Right.
But I think the
and
whole problem
that's the
is
only
that,
one that he vetoed, isn't it?
Right.
Mm-hmm.
He just vetoed that. But we have to have a strategy. And I think that our Black Caucus, along with the Democrats, did not have a strategy, even as far as the redistricting bill and others. We have to have enough bills up front so that we can make sure that those are on the back burner. But there has to be a long-term strategy.
So I guess the other question I would have with that, and I'm glad you said it, was what we having a party for? What is the Black Caucus having a party at the end of the session, and for what reason?
I am 1,000% with you there, and that was going to be my next thing. Not only that, having a party, then you got Republicans coming to that party.
Wait a minute, your phone's breaking up.
Their tails beat. The only thing they should have been doing is having an all-night prayer session and strategizing.
Mm-hmm. and inviting them to come to the party.
Yeah, they need an
because
agenda.
they're always with them anyway.
They need an agenda. They need a platform. They need a plan. They need direction. They need leadership, and they need to get it together.
Well, that is the reason why they continue to put forth candidates that they can control, because they want to keep the status quo and they want to keep our people just where they are.
You know, one thing that has I don't know, that I've just really noticed in the last year is how many of these people who are in elected office are related to one another.
Yeah.
I had no idea how many of them were blood relatives to one another. And I wonder, does that really make them independent thinkers? Or are they just a clan voting a certain way in a block because they happen to be related and they are putting their family's legacy and generational wealth and elevation over the needs of their constituents?
And Gary, what I'll also put into that, I don't think that anybody that's an elected official should not be able to run or suggest who is on OPDEC.
I agree.
I really don't like this practice of them endorsing one another.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I think that what you end up with is them horse trading. I'm gonna endorse you, and you're gonna endorse me, and that it's just kind of a gentleman's agreement. This is what we're gonna do, and it really, unfortunately, influences voters who aren't independently looking at the qualifications and the records of the people running for office.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I was told that for this Senate race, that the reason why they endorse who they endorse, outside of him being part of the party, is because he's a good old boy and he's going to do exactly what they tell him to do. That is just like having a family member.
Yeah. Yep. I agree.
Well, I don't know. I'm just starting to get fed up with realizing that in New Orleans and across Louisiana, politics, family relationships, and political dynasties are playing such a major role in who gets elected for public office. We are finding that multiple family members of the same families are serving in the legislature, the judiciary, sheriff's offices, assessors' offices, school boards, city councils, and statewide offices. And I think that those relationships are affecting their political agendas.
Mm-hmm.
How else can you explain Rhonda Good Douglas being substituted for Leon Roche by Gary Carter? Because it should have been last to come, first to go. That's normally how it is. So there's no other explanation for it other than that familial connection made sacrificing him not an option, or going with what should have been the normal way of doing things not an option. There's no other explanation for that.
Yep. All right, Gary. Thank you, sir. Appreciate your call.
Thank you.
All right. Ryan.
Yes, sir.
What you got?
Two things. Miss Suzette just hit one thing on the head, and Simone Levine actually beat Mr. Roche, however you pronounce it, in an election before he was elected to another section. So anyway, I'll leave that right there.
Well, that's good to know. That's good to
Pardon?
know. That's good to know. I had not made that connection and followed the dots. So they ran against one another, and Simone won the seat, and then he ran for a seat the next time one was available.
Yeah, I believe it was the next cycle, which is good. I mean, I'm sure he's a good dude. I've met him. I think his eyes seem honest. I didn't dig in too deep. Either way, it seems kind of crazy. But the other thing was,
if I had a crystal ball though, and I was just looking at this, I think that black voters being heated about these two black elected officials being ousted from positions that they were duly elected for are going to turn out to vote in that judgeship because they feel that these candidates have been wronged. And I think that unfortunately, Simone Levine, being a white female candidate, may get the short end of the stick when she's running against a black incumbent or one of the other two black candidates that now have to run.
It's going to be difficult.
I think she's going to get backlash on, you know, these voters, black voters thinking we need to right this wrong.
They need to look at the programs and the things that she has implemented under her judgeship, while sitting in that seat. That's what needs to happen, because she's doing a lot, and she does a lot, and she's out there all the time.
Oh, I agree. I agree. I mean, look, I think that she runs a great court, and I think she is implementing a lot of great programs. But I just know when I'm listening to people talk about these seats being elected, they're tying it to race. And I think that that is going to be something on voters' minds when they go to vote in November.
Yeah. Well, that's cool. But I one more thing. She might have got a slap on the wrist, but did the judge and the DA and who else? They might have slapped her on the ass. That's all I know.
Oh, you're talking about that mayor in DeRidder? She does have to register as a tier 1 sex offender as part of that case. But I just think that had it been a man who did this, there would have been a stronger sentence.
That would have been a stronger everything. They would have been. I noticed that they did not call her a pedophile.
Right, they did not.
No,
they did not.
All right, Ryan.
I'll take it easy.
Take it easy, buddy. All right, say it.
Hey, say it. Hello, how are y'all?
What's going on?
Hey, man, you know, the biggest part of the problem that we have in our community is self-accountability. It's very sad that in this season, with all of this going on, seemingly our political leaders have no integrity. They have no integrity. For you to push allegedly your cousin, but a week or two earlier, you have the mic and you're sounding like Malcolm X, but you're really playing the game. If that's true, where is your integrity? We, for the Black Caucus, state legislative Black Caucus, for you all to have gone through what you've gone through, seemingly we thought you were fighting like you were fighting, and maybe some of you were, and then to have a party drinking with the very person that you were fighting, where is your integrity? At the city level, for you Black elected officials to be doing what you're doing, where's your integrity? For the clergy to endorse in this racist season other people over qualified Black people, where is your integrity? People, lastly, all these Asians with these videos, listen to what they're saying and how they're talking.
I noticed that. What is going on with that?
They are mad, people, because we are learning, perhaps, the first law of self-preservation is self first. Every other race is consistent at taking care of their own more and longer than us. And maybe this is our
the wake-up call?
Top time to see where we should be headed. But it's sad in this season that our leaders have seemingly convenient integrity, when this is the season for them to have integrity all the time. And thank y'all for allowing me to say that.
All right, say it.
You know, I think that is a very relevant word, because I am just shocked and appalled at the elected officials that Cynthia Wiggins helped to get into office, helped to get elected, that are sitting this one out while Hanno is attempting a hostile takeover of Gust.
Yep.
Where are you? She was there for you. Where are you? Are you pretending to be too busy to help her? Because she sure helped you.
Get in office.
You know, I think we ought to be making a list and checking it twice, because it's shameful.
To know who's been naughty.
Right. Well, yeah, it's
who's
shameful
been nice.
to know how many of these people were put into office by people like Roberta Brown and Cynthia Wiggins, who are community activists and stomped the pavement for them to get elected. And now she is under attack over there at Gus. And where are you?
Standing by herself.
With the exception of Troy Carter and John Kennedy, mind you, where are the rest of these so-called black leaders that she helped to get into office?
And they crickets right now.
They're crickets.
Because there's something going on under the table.
Absolutely. Absolutely, there's something going on. All you got to do is follow the dots. One day, Travis Chase has a job. The next day, Larry Barabino's resigning from Nord, and he's on his way to Hanoi. And then Miss Wiggins is out, and Larry Barabino's in. Who has to gain from this? I think that's the question we all need to be asking. And I'm starting to figure it out because of the silence of some of you.
Shh. Be quiet.
Integrity. I mean, it all comes down to integrity. And, you know, what many citizens are struggling with right now is a growing belief that integrity is lacking across our public institutions.
It's rabbit season.
People are questioning whether decisions are being made based on principle, fairness, and the rule of law, or are they based on your ability to line your own pockets, based on politics, relationships, and self-preservation.
It's rabbit season. Ain't no fun when the rabbit gets the gun.
Nope.
So.
But public trust erodes when people believe integrity is selective.
But a lot of those folks that think that they are privileged are the ones that are trying to do this because they don't think that you have the fight in you.
Yeah.
And then they find out they got slapped in the face and got slapped pretty hard by somebody they weren't counting on to be able to bring the noise. There's a whole lot of noise getting ready to come out of this. A whole lot of noise. And from what I'm saying, baby, you got the boom box.
You have to have the boom box. You know? You have to have the boom box.
Yeah. All right, y'all. We'll take a break here. We'll take some more telephone calls. I got to bring up this. What is going on with the Asian folks against black folks? Have you seen this yet?
Well, I know that Jamal Bryan is kind of calling for a boycott of these Asian corner supermarkets right now because of the child that got killed at the hands of an Asian store owner.
Yeah, for stealing water?
Yeah.
More coming up, y'all. Everybody hold tight.
New Orleans, the city of festivals and second chances. This is Mr. Rocky of Faithers in Jesus the Christ, inviting everyone to come to the table of grace. No matter where you are or what you're dealing with, guilt, bad habits, mistakes, or heavy hearts, Jesus still calls us his friend, and his grace is waiting for us. Tune in to WBOK, 12:30 a.m., or watch live on Facebook or Instagram. We'll reflect on his work on the cross, his resurrection, his ascension, and the hope of his return for we who that believe and have received him by faith. So join us at the table of grace, where mercy is fresh, forgiveness is real, and grace is served for people like you and me.
Late nights are made for chillin', and you can do just that every Sunday night at 10 p.m. as DJ Wick brings you The Love Zone. It's the perfect way to top off your weekend with your favorite old and new school ballads. So sit back, relax, and let DJ Wick take you to the Love Zone on WBOK and on the World Wide Web at WBOK1230.com.
WBOK.
Better pay attention.
Powered by Cox Business. Here we go. The reality check on WBOK 1230 AM.
All right, folks, welcome back. Welcome back. Question. What is going on with the Asian community and why are they going in on black folks?
I think it all stems from this store owner who happens to be Asian, who was found not guilty of murder, of a murder that occurred in 2023, killing a black teen in South Carolina.
Over stolen water.
I think that there's backlash now in the black community calling for a boycott of some of these Asian grocery stores and other kinds of stores, hair stores, whatever kind of stores.
Mm-hmm.
And because of some of that rhetoric, now the Asian community is also posting a lot of hateful things with respect to black people.
Well, this is the way I see it. Excuse me. The racist white man got a hold of them when they came to the United States after Vietnam and taught them their racist ways. This is another group that we can have against those Negroes, those ninjas. So we're going to teach them everything about them that's not correct. Because I've seen videos where even overseas in Japan and Vietnam, they use the N-word like it's something good. And the black man had to teach this woman that her child was calling the man the N-word. And he taught her, he said, why are you using that word? Well, that's what you are, right? That's what American, he's like, no. The racist white man has taught you this. What you have learned is wrong. And that's the way they look at us.
Yeah.
But they don't like us, but they want our money. So they put the hair shops, the weave shops, the nail shops, the corner stores all in our communities. And just like fools,
because we're
allow us to
consumers,
support them.
though, Wick. We are the consumers.
But and like I said,
We're
like
buying
fools, allow us to support them. I do not support them. You go to New Orleans East on Crowder, Reed, and Bullitt. There are 3 shops within a 1 mile radius of each other. And right there where you have a hair shop, you got a nail shop.
Mm-hmm.
There are corner stores on each Bullitt, Reed, and Crowder.
We are the ones supporting them. We are enriching them.
And then they treat us like any old way.
You know who owns English Turn now? Asians.
Oh, they're going to try to run y'all out.
An Asian family now owns English Turn.
Oh, they're going to try to run y'all out. Trust me.
You know, I see this particular story, though, where the jury returned the verdict for, I know I'm going to say his name wrong, Rick Chow, who's 61, who is Asian. And he shot a kid named Cyrus Carmack Belton in the back after chasing him from his convenience store in Columbia. He says he maintains that he did so to protect his own son.
Mm-hmm.
I see this story 2 ways, and I know I'm going to get some backlash for this, but this is why I see it 2 ways. While I believe that the store owner was absolutely 100% wrong for shooting him in the back,
right.
This kid, Carmack Belton, a 14-year-old, was walking down the street with a semi-automatic pistol loaded and ready to fire.
Mm-hmm.
Why? Why is he walking the street with this gun ready to fire? I can see that if I were out with my kid or in my business with my kid and somebody's approaching with that kind of weapon to protect my kid, I'm going to do whatever I have to do.
Right.
So I see this story from both perspectives. He never should have chased this kid down and shot him in the back.
Mm-hmm.
The kid was clearly retreating.
Trying to get away.
He was retreating and not causing a problem. At that point, that's why I think the store owner is wrong.
Yes.
But at the same time, why are our kids walking around with semi-automatic pistols loaded and ready to fire.
So we asked that question a while ago, and I think the majority of the folks were young black men that we talked to. And I think the overwhelming response is, I got to get them before they get me. Protection. And the one thing that did not come out of that conversation, which I thought should have come out of that conversation, was, what are you scared of? Because somebody that's walking around with a weapon, you can tell me all about, I got to get them before they get me, or all those other excuses. But I think it's because you're a coward. What you scared of? What are you scared of? And if you are scared, how come you won't tell nobody? Well, you don't want to look like no punk. I ain't no snitch. Excuses. And that mentality is the one that's going to get you killed. So now let's talk about this Asian community thing that's going on now. It's apparent to what I'm hearing, because I stayed on social media just to see this lady. She was in her car and she was driving her Mercedes. That's number one. And number two, I could automatically think that you all move your businesses close to us because we accept you. We accept you doing business in our community. Oh, we love some fried rice. Fried rice. We love that food, and you know it. We love your seafood. You know it. And what you have is a family member or members that are on the boat. They go out and get the seafood. Y'all own the restaurant, so you come back and cook it. And all of you all probably stay in the same proximity of each other, if not with each other, until you get enough money and community share until you all can buy up the block. Mm-hmm. We, on the other hand, are the number one consumers in the world. We don't combine our monies to buy up the block. We have the lowest rate of home ownership than any other nationality. And I'm thinking it's because, for several reasons, but I'll use these for one. Number one, I think it's a big mistake for families, especially Black and African American families, to say we don't talk about money in our household. It is time for us to put that myth of consumer away and start having conversations amongst your family members, from young, baby, or whatever, to old, on why we need to have some financial literacy in our communities as well.
We have always had those conversations
in
my home.
I'm saying the community.
Yeah.
You have. Mm-hmm. But the majority of us, I was trying to figure out why we don't have those conversations. I know the Jews, they're talking about we don't have those conversations about money. And I think you don't have those conversations about money because you already have it. We, on the other hand, are trying to figure out what makes wealth, and we're taking the wrong things to think that it is wealth. Having a car is not wealth. It makes you look like you doing something, may look like you have money, but you probably don't. A car is something that depreciates unless it's a classic that you're sitting down and letting it just appreciate. But having a car with some rims on it and all this other stuff, that depreciates the minute you drive off the lot. Secondly, we need to start having conversations about stop renting other people's homes and let's start buying our own property. I know in our community, we always said, if you really want to have something that is worth something, buy you some land. And if we don't, guess what? You're renting somebody else's mortgage. You're going to pay for it because you're trying to rent homes or apartments so you can pay their leases, their mortgage, so they can make money on you.
We've been having those conversations in our household since
your
our
household.
Kids have
Mm-hmm.
been very young.
Mm-hmm.
And as a result of those conversations, all of my daughters own their own homes and own their own rental properties. And they're young. They're relatively young. You know, the oldest is 34. You know, so they're very young. No, the oldest is 40. So they're young people. I think it's very important to have those conversations. I had a conversation with my granddaughter when she was 10. She had gotten into making these bracelets and these friendship bracelets or whatever. And so we talked about monetizing that. And I gave her seed money, gave her $100, took her to the store to buy the label maker, the bags to put the bracelets in, the beads to make the bracelets, and she started a business and started selling those to her peers on Instagram. And then we taught her how to make the deposits and to pull out the money for operating costs, to buy more things. So, you know, these are conversations we have even at 10. And if you have a plan, a business plan, I'll give you the seed money to start it. But then again, you got to pay me back the seed money once you start making your money. So, you know, that's how you teach children how to open businesses. As you know, we went in partnership with another black couple,
right, for your cigar bar,
and to buy the cigar bar. Because we believe not in renting but in owning. So we bought the building that the cigar bar sits in. We set up an LLC for ourselves and the other couple that invested with us to purchase that property on Belle Chase Highway, the former Rizzuto's restaurant. And then we utilized the purchase of the building to fund the opening of the cigar bar, which opened yesterday.
I hear you did pretty well.
It did very well, very well. So I thank everybody who went out to support it. So I say that to say it is not very difficult to pool resources with other members of your community.
But it is.
To develop a business.
But it is.
Why is it hard?
You got to know who you going in business with.
Well, you do have to know who you're going in business with, but hopefully you're not going in business with total strangers.
And those folks need to understand that there's no bad idea. And if you don't trust them, why are you going in business with them?
Well, no, you should not go into business with
but
people
ain't
you
that
don't
one
trust.
of the biggest problems we got in our community?
No, one of the biggest problems we have in our community is we don't put agreements in writing.
Yeah.
And we don't fully investigate the businesses that we're trying to open to see what the cost of operating them is and what the potential return is on the business.
Yeah. All right, we got to take a break. Everybody on the phone, hold on. We're coming back in a minute. We got to do news, and we'll come right back. More next.
From the campus of Xavier University, WBOK Go and Equity Media Station.
I'm Bree Wood with BIN News Now. A Detroit woman has been sentenced in the death of her young son. Kentoria Moss will spend 18 months to 10 years in prison after pleading guilty to second-degree child abuse. The child's grandmother, Adriana Times, said the sentence is too lenient.
I could never get him back. But 18 months to 10 years is not enough for her.
Adrian Times Jr.'s stepfather previously received up to 40 years. Lifestyle influencer Ashley Janae's cause of death has been revealed. Officials say the black 31-year-old died by suicide while on vacation in Tanzania due to mental distress, concluding a months-long investigation into her death. And Bryson Tiller is set to hit the road for his Neo Trap Soul tour. The run kicks off August 27th in Utah and wraps November 1st in Seattle, with artists like Majid Jordan and Ty Dolla $ign joining on select dates. Get BIN News Now on demand 24/7 on the iHeartRadio app.
Hot Here we go. The Reality Check on WBOK 1230 AM.
And we're back. It's WBOK 1230 AM. The talk line is 582-9422. You know, one of the greatest challenges facing the Black community is that too many of us are trying to survive individually in an economy that rewards organized capitalism. We are often taught personal success, but not collective success should be the goal. We celebrate the individual millionaire, but rarely discuss how communities can build systems that can allow ordinary people to thrive together. I would suggest to you that many people think ownership requires enormous wealth, but it can start with 5 people investing $500 each, 10 people contributing monthly, or families combining resources strategically. I'll give you an example. If 10 people saving $250 per month pooled their resources together, they could have $30,000 in 12 months in order to be the seed to purchase a duplex together. They could use that money, that down payment, to get a line of credit to open some sort of business. That is $30,000 per year before financing, grants, or additional investment if you just pool together 10 people pooling $250 a month together. So, you know, I just want to suggest that to you. I mean, it can be done. Yeah. I taught my kids to do that when they were purchasing real estate in their late teens and early 20s. You know, you can pool resources and you can develop businesses with very little seed or by contributing your money together, you know, putting your money together. So we need to start thinking more in terms of ownership of our own businesses and not patronizing other people's businesses.
Yeah. All right, let's do this. Mr. Coleman, what you say there, cousin?
Hey, cuz, how you doing?
Good. How you doing?
No, take that back. How are y'all doing, my favorite people?
We good. We stressed, but we good.
We surviving.
Okay, look, I'm going to take it back a minute in y'all discussion. How many ways can we say Black lives does not matter? And the second statement I'm going to make is that these other ethnic groups comes in this country, they get the half-white pass. So they see the advantage of what side to stand on. The Trump election showed us that. All right, now let's move forward. We indoctrinated. Trust the white man. Don't trust your brother. It is so hard for us to come together and build wealth. You made an excellent point about we wear our wealth on our backs or we drive it around, which both depreciate time from the time you bring it out the store. But we have to continue to try to teach. And you're chipping away at this big rock. No, I'm going to say the mountain, piece by piece, that our children could see and maybe bring their friends along to show them how we could combine our wealth. Mm-hmm. I'm 79 and a half. I have tried my whole life, and my father too, is to get Black people to stick together to build wealth. Envy and jealousy of each other is destroying us. I've lived long enough to know what I'm talking about, and those that are listening, you need to wake up, because the way we're going, when you're letting other people write your history, they are writing you out of it.
Yeah, you know, throughout history, our communities have pulled, other communities have pulled their money, relationships, education, and labor to build businesses, buy land, open banks, create schools, establish economic power. And the Black community, we have done that in the past. I mean, look at Tulsa. Look at Black Wall Street.
Rosewood.
Look at Rosewood. We have examples of how we successfully built our own. I think that we're going to have to revisit that model And we're going to have to not spend all our energy waiting on government, waiting on corporations or somebody else to save us. Sometimes the answer is sitting right in our own neighborhoods, churches, fraternities, sororities, social clubs, and families. If 10 families invested together, they could do a business. They could create a business. They could buy a block. If professionals pooled capital together, they certainly could build a business. I mean, I'm sitting here as living proof of that. I mean, we just opened a business yesterday. What if we supported each other long enough for businesses to stabilize instead of expecting immediate success? You know, go patronize some Black businesses. You know, we have enough talent in our own community where we should be able to build together. You know?
And look, something too, when I was thinking about some of the stuff that I saw this week and still seeing this week, when we start talking about what's being offered here in New Orleans. If you think about it, when you get home this evening, anybody I'm talking to, turn on television. All you hear is how we're celebrating a restaurant week. If Black folks don't know how to do nothing else, we know how to cook.
We can monetize a pot of red beans.
Oh, let me tell you. And what I am seeing, as far as what the television stations are talking about, are white restaurants owned by, the majority of them are owned by major white restaurant developers. I haven't seen the real in the hood type of, and I'm sorry if I offended anybody by saying in the hood. I'm talking about your neighborhood, my neighborhood. I'm talking about us, what we know and where we go to get our food. I have not seen those promotions. I keep hearing about $26 here, $36 here, and $56 here.
Yesterday on television. Felix.
But how come I ain't seeing that at our restaurants?
They're not, well, the media is not covering our restaurants and highlighting them. We need to do that. But, you know, we need to also, though, support Black businesses, not just when they just open, but, you know, become repeat customers.
Especially during this time
businesses.
of the year. If
Absolutely.
we're talking about restaurants, especially this time of the year, because this is when it gets slow. It bothered me to hear that what's that restaurant in the French Quarter, Sabisha, or whatever, what that is, Deirdre. I know you know. Tell me what I'm talking about. But they're doing all of that work in the French Quarter on the roads with the Sewage and Water Board, and they done fenced it up so nobody can get over there, can't visit them. So they made the decision to close it completely.
Wow. Well, they may have been suffering financially and
They
couldn't meet
were.
the mortgage. Or couldn't
They
meet the
were.
rent. Right.
Because nobody could get over there to help them. Now, why am I bringing that up? I'm bringing it up because I can tell you that if it was somebody else other than an African-American based restaurant, it would have been everything to try to save it. Cafe Sabisa, is that Sabisa? How do you say it? I'm thinking I ate there once and the food was delicious. So if I can't pronounce it and I still ate there, y'all know it was good.
Well, we need to start, you know, we should have been started. I'm not going to say we need to start. We should have been started supporting Black-owned restaurants and Black-owned businesses.
And I'll throw another one in there. The Vault.
The Vault.
We have all been over there. You're probably the ones that are going to talk about it the most because we see what Mr. Barry gives back to the community, and Miss Millie. Miss Millie do.
I know they're not going to talk about what they're doing right now.
And they
so
don't like to talk about it.
But I'm going to talk about it.
Mhm.
So there's this nonprofit called Hope Ignites, and it serves underserved children. And Mr. Barry and Miss Millie have become food mom and dads to Hope Ignites, where these kids live. And they are delivering food to them from their restaurant on a weekly basis.
Wow.
They don't talk about the things that they contribute back to the community, but that's what Black businesses do. When you support a Black business, it usually pays off tenfold in the community because they will contribute back to the community. Juan LaFonte and I don't agree on much, but we do agree on this.
Juan's like, what did I do?
Well, he knows we don't agree on much, but we agree on this. You know, Juan does contribute the dollars back to the community
every year
that he makes. And he is correct that, you know, a lot of these white law firms are making millions and millions of dollars off of black people who they don't socialize with on a day-to-day basis. And they don't contribute back, you know, and he's got a point, you know, and he talks about it all the time on his social media. And I would agree with him. And it's not just law firms, it's businesses in general. You know, when you support a black business, it will filter back into the black community. So
Hey, G.
that's
Yes, sir.
important.
Let me share this with you. We have to do a better job with the black pride. Just say D school, McDonald 35 Senior High School. Every year, the classes that have the alumni appreciation, the class reunions, donate money to the various students. My class had done it religiously over the long haul. We are celebrating our 64th year. You know, we get a thank you. And I let them know at class night. People who support you, you stand on our shoulder, but you need to show appreciation so that we can feel good that you appreciate what we're doing for you. The kids, they feel so entitled. And we as parents, and Suzette, you made an excellent example of teaching your children to own your property and you own your business that you started. Your business has to continue to be that role model for other businesses so that we could stay in business. You start them, but you got to stay in business and the support of our people. And sometimes, as I said before, we are so envious and jealous of each other. We kind of hold each other back because you're not the one who's doing something. Somebody else is doing something. And like I said, I've been out here a long time, and it really upsets me. And I said this last Friday when we were talking. How many black folks have a African dashiki, celebrate the two black holidays that we basically have, Juneteenth and the late Dr. Martin Luther King Day, and know something about why we're celebrating those 2 days? You know, we don't even have black history in most HBCUs, and that's sad.
Well, I'll put it to you this way, and make your story a little bit more intense. Think about something. How far are we from Juneteenth? It's on June 19th. Tomorrow's
That's
the
right.
10th. Have you heard anything about Juneteenth this year?
No. They do it in Texas, but not here.
All right.
Brownville, Texas, but not here. We don't have nothing planned that I know of.
Right. So.
And look, G.
It's a lot to think about. It's a lot to think about with that. But go ahead. I'm sorry.
Maybe we need to do something for Juneteenth. Maybe we can
That's
be the
what I'm getting
example.
ready to say, G. Let's plan to go to the vote or something.
Maybe we can be the example for Juneteenth. Exactly. And get something started.
Let me talk to Barry about that one. And everybody.
All right.
And everybody with their dashiki.
Look,
but Brandon
I'm
said
down for it. I'm coming too. Yeah.
Brandon said
Well,
dashikas are made in China.
but
They're not. They're made in Africa.
Let me tell you something. Entrepreneurship is just not something that you just decide to do on a whim. It helps when you teach children ownership early. Emil and I normalized conversations at our dinner table with our girls and their friends about credit, about investing, about contracts. We would literally do contracts with our children at the beginning of a school year, a written contract that they negotiated, what their chores were going to be, what they would receive for every A, what our expectations were, what they had to do, and what financial compensation they'd receive in return. And then once they got the compensation, we would develop a business plan for the money they got. we talked about insurance. We talked about taxes. We talked about entrepreneurship and real estate. My kids had youth savings accounts. We exposed them to professionals in the fields that they thought they had an interest in. For example, my granddaughter is right now saying she wants to be an engineer. So I have reached out to several engineers for her to shadow them over the summer, and she is just 13. We need to listen to our children when they express an interest in doing something and then expose them to the professionals in that field. When Lauren was 5, my youngest, she said she wanted to be a doctor. So I targeted 10 Black doctors who I knew for her to shadow growing up consistently. And now guess what? She's a doctor. Listen to what your children say their dreams are, and then expose them to people in that field that can help them along the way to get there.
All right, cuz, let me take these other calls. Everybody stand in line here.
Thank you. See you at Juneteenth.
All right. We'll get it. Hey, Miss Denise. Miss Denise?
Hello.
Yeah.
Hey, how you doing, Gerard?
Good. How you doing?
Fine. How you doing, Attorney McNair?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm great. Congratulations on a cigar bar.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that.
Sure. I left an envelope at your office on yesterday, and the conversation that's going on right now in that envelope has a lot. Once you read it, I met with Gerard. I don't know if you remember, Gerard, maybe about a year ago, and we somewhat talked about what's in that envelope, and I don't want to go over on the radio and talk about it.
Mm-hmm.
But this envelope has a lot to do with what what you all are just talking about right now, and in previous times as well. My son is a pharmacist. When he finished school, I told him you don't pay for anything, and he didn't quite understand. And the first property he bought was a fourplex, and then I went to tell him this one pay for that, this one pay for this, and so on and so forth. So in that envelope is a lot of information. And I need a team. I need a strong team. And you two people are just fantastic. It's like a prayer answered to change the city of New Orleans. And on Sunday, I was looking at my phone, and Gail Benson gave like $3.5 million to Archbishop Chappelle High School. Most Black people don't have that opportunity to receive that kind of money. I watch Roland Martin every day, all the time, and the supporters of his show is the simple people that sends in $5, $10, and he says it all the time. And I do believe that our people, being the largest consumers, we spend the most money, and we have nothing really to show for it. We spend like 1.6 trillion in economic power.
Mm-hmm.
Means we have a lot of money. And after hearing the Asian guy, saying what he said on Instagram, he's not lying, but it was sickening to hear it.
Right.
Because what we do, we just get our money, and it stays in our community a very short period of time.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm going to go on this one. If you all would just look through that envelope, it's almost like I got the green light. I can't explain it over the phone how I got the green light, but if we can talk at some point, I'll be able to explain just what I just said here.
Think about this too, Miss Denise. If we solicited right now at least 5 folks that have kids that are 10 to 12 years old that want to own their own property within the next 5 to 10 years, do you think that we could get them?
I believe so. As a retired teacher, my parents, and I taught at different schools, they were always willing to give. A lot of times people think that the parents wouldn't, give because of whatever, but they were always there. And I mean different levels and degrees of parents, and they were givers, definitely givers. So we are giving people. And just like Roland says, he gets sometime $1, $5, and it costs a lot to run his program and to travel. But he said there's no millionaires and billionaires giving them money. It's the regular people that's giving. So, I do believe this, and I believe it in my heart, that the people here in New Orleans, we're givers. We will come together if you give them something. And I close with this testimony. I used to work down at juvenile court years ago, 1990-something, in child support. And I was the recording clerk who sat next to the judge. Well, this man came in. He was very disgruntled. Well, he didn't, had a problem. And at that time, they would give you a list to go out and search for a job and get the supervisor to sign. And he was very upset. So when he came back like a ray of sunshine because he had something. He got a job at Burger King. Now, he needed to be pushed, but when he got something to feel like his own, it was like a whole different person. If we give our people something to own, that's going to change their behavior. And the main thing is changing an individual's behavior. And until we do that, we're going to get the results that we get now with the carrying of the guns, making them feel that, they're somebody because they can carry this large gun. But if you give someone something to call their own, that's a behavior change right there. Mm-hmm. And it's going to flow from one to the next. And as far as money, we got a whole lot of associated pleasure clubs we can bring this idea to that's in the folder. Whenever you all are available, I know I put some dates in. I'll be available because I am a GG and I take care of my grandson sometimes, but I will make time.
I will definitely look for this folder tomorrow. Both Gerard and I spent the day yesterday at Gust doing hundreds of affidavits.
Miss Denise.
But I tell you what,
Miss Denise.
we will look for this folder tomorrow, and we will definitely give you a call.
She beat me.
I did not beat him. He was working.
Me.
When you expect Gerard to work, somehow you are abusing him.
She beat
but
me.
I will look for that folder and definitely get back to you on that.
I was called Toby.
Are we taking a break here? Because I do want to address a comment.
Yeah, you got to. Don't address that.
Yeah, I want to address that.
Thank you all. And I'm looking forward to a meeting with you all, and I'll be able to explain in depth exactly who am I, and affiliated with.
Okay, great.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right, my dear.
All right.
Okay, we're going to take the break?
Yeah, we're going to take the break, but go ahead.
Okay, so I just want to say this. Someone posted on our Facebook feed that you can't expect a single mom working at Dollar Tree to teach her child about contracts. First of all, I just want to say that the average shift at a Dollar Tree is 4 to 6 hours, maybe 8 hours a day. I work 14 to 16 hours a day.
Hmm?
Gerard can tell you that.
I know you did it last night.
I did. I typically work 14 to 16 hours a day, even when my kids were small. I think anybody who wants to has enough information readily available to them on social media now to learn about a contract and to talk to a child about what a contract is, how to form one, and the importance of one. A mother working at Dollar Tree may not be able to teach her child every detail about contracts to the extent that I can as an attorney, but she can sure teach and show her child by example, discipline, work ethic, the importance of saving money, delayed gratification, and the importance of education. So the community has a responsibility to help one another and to try to make life better for the next generation, regardless of job position. We can all do a lot to make lives better for our children, regardless of what our job might be.
I'm glad you put it out there like that, but I'm going to put it out there a little bit more simpler than that. We all do what we want to do.
Right.
That's all to it. We got to take the break. More coming up, y'all.
This is the Bloomberg Black Business Beat. The number of Black summer associates at law firms is shrinking to its lowest levels in more than a decade. That's according to a survey by the National Association of Law Placement. And as part of a larger trend across industries, in reaction to a conservative push to end race and gender-based preferences in hiring and in school admissions. I spoke to Bloomberg Equality reporter Jeff Green, who says this decline could be just the tip of the iceberg.
we haven't even begun to see yet the impact of enrollment based on that affirmative action decision. The NALP folks said that's probably not going to show up till maybe next year's class. So you'll have the other side of that ratio affected. The number of Black people who were in law school may also be diminishing.
Conservative legal strategist Edward Blum is a name to watch here. He's led several successful initiatives to curb DEI in places like law firms. I'm Bloomberg's Justin Milliner on the Black Business Beat.
It's deck days at Lowe's, and the savings are stacked. Right now, pros get 15% off all in-stock composite decking from top brands like Trex, TimberTech, and Decorators. Plus, get a free DeWalt 20-volt max 5-amp-hour battery when you buy a select DeWalt tool. The deck's stacked in your favor with brands pros trust. Our best lineup is here at Lowe's. Valid through 4/22 while supplies last. Selection varies by location.
Confidence is knowing you're ready to handle whatever comes your way. That's what it feels like to take on your workday with Cintas. They make sure your AEDs are up to date, your fire extinguishers are tested and inspected, your floor mats are cleaned and delivered, and your workwear looks good, feels good, and is freshly laundered with the Cintas Apparel Plus program. So are you ready to take on today? Visit Cintas.com and get ready for the workday.
AURN News.
A judge has struck down a Trump administration immigration policy that has been making it significantly harder for immigrants from dozens of countries to enter and remain in the U.S. Now, the ruling affected asylum applications, work permits, green cards, and citizenship, the full pipeline of legal immigration. The judge didn't mince words, saying that the new policy threw countless lives into what he called indeterminate legal limbo and accused U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Services of flatly ignoring the law. Nearly 1 in 10 Black Americans are immigrants. The Trump administration had already paused visa processing for 75 countries, most of them on the African continent, with no timeline for resumption. Somali communities in Minnesota and Maine were targeted by aggressive ICE operations earlier this year. Haitians are still fighting in the Supreme Court to keep their temporary protected status. Today's ruling is a legal win. Advocates are warning it's one ruling in a much larger war. For AURN News, I'm Ebony McMorris.
Hoops, Heat, The Truth, on demand. Ball Don't Lie is now live on all podcast platforms. Tap in, search WBOK Media, find Ball Don't Lie, and bring the fire with you wherever you go. Download, share, and leave that 5-star review, because the game doesn't stop when the show ends.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to another open enrollment update. Who do I have on the line today?
Hi, you're speaking with Vanessa Scott of BSG of Louisiana.
Can you tell us a little bit about what is open enrollment?
The open enrollment period is for Medicare members that want to change from one plan to another.
Why is open enrollment so important?
Because a lot of people missed out on the annual enrollment period, so they need to have a one-on-one review.
And if you have questions or concerns about your Medicare plans, what should you do?
You just pick up the phone, call 504-621-3687. We even come out to your house. Zero cost to them.
Get with BSG of Louisiana for your Medicare review. For church groups, senior communities, or disability organizations, call 504-621-3687. We are an independent insurance agency providing information about Medicare-related insurance plans. We are not connected or endorsed by Medicare or the U.S. government.
Well, saints of God, this is Pastor David Impartan Sr. coming to you over the airways of WBOK, your favorite host of Change Your Water, Change Your Mind. I want to invite you to our show every Saturday from 1 o'clock to 2 o'clock p.m. That's Change Your Water, Change Your Mind. I want you to invite your family and friends to a broadcast that's designed to change your life, the way you think, the way you act, and what you eat. We want you to tune in every Saturday at 1 o'clock, WBOK, 12:30 a.m. See you on Saturday.
Making a difference in the community. WBOK 1230 AM. Here we go. The reality check on WBOK 1230 AM.
All right, folks, welcome back. Welcome back. Our number 504-582-9422. Galloway.
What's going on, Brother Gerard?
What's happening with your big money?
Man, now I ain't got no money. But I'm saving my money from them Asian stores. I can tell you that much.
Yes, indeed. Have you noticed that they're now getting on social media, having a very bad conversation talking about black people?
Gerard, They've been like that. We
They might
know
have
it.
been like that, but I'm seeing Trumpism now.
Well, I tell you what, I bought those damn earphones. I don't know if y'all have them, but those Apple earphones that
they
translate.
Mm-hmm.
And you ought to hear the conversations that I hear in the nail salon.
It's out of control with them people.
They talk about their customers really bad.
Yes.
I mean, I'm just saying. It's really something. You know, I thought it was funny, so I bought them. I wanted to hear what people were really saying. But it's really interesting. I mean, if I talked about my customers that way, I wouldn't have customers.
Yeah. But, you know, first of all, I got to give a shout-out to Brother Sid that called in. He was spot on when he talked about the integrity part. And I keep telling folks, I've never seen the Democrat Party so much in shambles. You have an election that's given to you. You have an unpopular president, low approval rating. Everything he's done is to hurt black people. You can get the black vote to turn out. You got a lawsuit right now because 75% of the black federal workers were fired under Trump. So the black people going to turn out. But look what y'all are turning around and doing, Congressional Black Caucus in Louisiana. You're partying with the Klan. So, you know, I'm not going to even get myself upset anymore. But, you know, you talked about the racism with the Asians. Have you seen that Chinese doll? Is there any harm in this Natasha? Or was it Natasha? They call the doll Natasha. It's a stress doll. It's a black doll. You can beat it up. You can stress it out and pull it out and do everything you want to with it to take your anger and stress out. It's a black baby doll. That's in China. And it's really trending on social media. And I said, this is crazy. Now,
I had to look that one up. I'm not aware of it. I might have seen it and not paid attention to it, but I need to.
Yes. It's called the Natasha doll. It's crazy the way that these folks really think and try to treat us and talk to us. And I tell people I've not been inside of an Asian store, gas station, nail salon, hair, beauty. I don't even let my wife buy any of that stuff from them. And that's been since 2004. It's 2026, so you can do it. So what if the black lady that has that same hair, same wig, nails, or whatever, don't charge you $4 or $5 extra? Because see, that black woman will sit there and donate to your child's cheerleading camp, donate to your child's football camp, or any of that stuff. Asian companies or stores do not donate nothing to black people. How many times have we shut down Manchu in New Orleans? How many times have folks been kicked out of them Abraham stores and we just shut them down? I have no idea why black people keep going in there. Yes, I know I'm lucky enough to live in these little 8 miles here, but we have over 8 black-owned stores. I don't have to go outside of my neighborhood to buy anything. And that's how it's supposed to be. New Orleans is just like that, too. It's just that we in New Orleans, like cheap stuff. Them cheap chicken wings from Manchu, instead of taking you behind the little Dizzy's or go to Versailles, the sausage place, I have no idea why we won't go into our own businesses, but we'll stand in line outside in the rain for some nasty chicken wings. It's probably dog food, and sit there. And Brother Wick was right. The East is horrible. All them corner stores that they got. And when the last time have you seen a bunch of Asians in one of those stores?
One of the things I like, though, Galloway, about New Orleans, that ain't just I won't call that the bee's knees and just what we see, because we are getting to the point where we're waking up a little bit. And we saw the opening and reopening of Vaucrescence. And now I went over there last week or week before last, and there was nowhere to sit. That's how many people were in there. It was a waiting line. I was so happy. I had to tell Chef Bunny, keep doing what you're doing, you know, and then to go over to Little Dizzy's and see that waiting line out there, you know, or to go uptown and see right there off of Barone, where Willie Mays. You got to make an appointment to go to Willie Mays any day. So I know that our restaurants are doing well. My problem ain't that. My problem is that the rest of the folks have got to catch up and say, I need to feature them during times when we know that restaurants are doing bad, because they're not doing well every single day, but they're doing well on certain days. We know that New Orleans, Monday or Tuesday is a bad restaurant day. So we need to make sure that they doing the work. You know, they want to feature somebody. Why are you featuring just Felix's and what's the other one? Shoot, they're right off a magazine. Commander's Palace. You know, they already got I think a list of food that's going to be probably, you know, out of somebody's price range.
Yeah, but the reporter was white too, Gerard. So he is focusing upon businesses that he patronizes.
But white people eat fried chicken.
Yeah, but he was focusing upon some businesses from his own community.
Mm-hmm.
And we, at one point, you had started on this station highlighting black businesses all the time. You used to do it once a week. You talk about black businesses. And I think there is a show here on WBOK that's focused on black businesses and talking about black businesses. You know, I think that's a great thing. But then again, let me just say this. How many of you who are listening to WBOK are supporting WBOK?
We're a black business.
Okay, this is a black business, and it's a much needed service in the community. So, you know, think about that. I mean, you want to maintain the only black radio station in this town, you should be supporting it in some way. You know, I want to say that I understand, and there's a lot of talk in our Facebook chat, which I watch as we are talking about systemic barriers. Yes, systemic barriers are real. Discrimination is still real. Inequality is still real. Yes, sometimes you have to do some wrangling to find the right bank that will tell you yes, or the right credit union that will tell you yes. I have faced, you know, discrimination in trying to bank with banks and with my own black business. And I had to keep moving until I found a banker that was willing to develop a relationship with me, get to know me, help me, give me a chance. Sometimes you're going to face a lot of closed doors before you walk through the right open door, but you can't be deterred. We cannot allow every obstacle to become a permanent excuse for why we cannot organize, build, invest, educate, and elevate. You know, at some point, you have to keep knocking on those doors, and you're going to get a lot of rejections before you get the yes to improve your position in life. Anybody who owns their own business will let you know it is a struggle. It is a struggle.
That's going to be the hardest job.
Oh, it is the hardest job.
You've ever had.
It's already hard being a litigation attorney, but I also wear the hat of having to make sure that, you know, there's money for payroll, there's money to pay bills, there's money to pay experts, doing all the marketing, you know, making sure that, you know, the lights stay on. You know, I mean, these are things we have to do in order when you own your own business. I can't tell you, my mind is never off. Even when I'm at home and I'm supposed to be off, I'm thinking about what I have to do with my own black-owned business. And I have multiple businesses too, so I'm stretching myself, but it's just, you're gonna face those obstacles, but the communities that survive are the communities that adapt. The businesses that survive are the businesses that adapt. And sometimes, as we were saying, you have to build in unfavorable conditions. This was the conversation we had at the church with the McDonough number 32 Community Center.
Yeah.
Everything may look like an obstacle to the black community right now. We are facing hard times, but sometimes you just have to build it anyway in unfavorable conditions.
Galloway.
You talk about restaurants and stuff. You know, like I tell you, every year my wife and her friends go to Essence. Now, of course, she's from there. She knows where to go. But I know I've personally reached out to Essence and any other festival that comes there and said, why don't y'all list the restaurants of black-owned restaurants? Y'all are talking about the culture, and there's people just constantly asking me where to go eat. I don't want to eat in the French Quarter. Where's this restaurant at? Where's this at? And I tell folks, I said, why hasn't Essence, and all these years it's been there, and they've reached out to, I think the group is called Where Black Nola Eats. Why have y'all reached out and worked with these people? And I'm real quick.
Black?
Well, as African.
Okay.
But
anyway, I just wanted to put that in your mind. You really think that Essence is black?
No. Well, you talked about child, Counselor. If you look at South Carolina's law, since he was charged with murder, meaning all his previous incidents over the past 12 years where he's actually fought with black girls in the store, which is on videotape, and he's actually shot at black people before, which is on videotape. But since he was charged with murder, that could not be used in South Carolina. It's one of the 2 states that you cannot use that evidence. So this guy has been a nuisance for 12 years in that community, and he owns several different businesses, all in black neighborhoods. So now they're going from store to store, getting them closed down. It's not going to happen in a day. It's not going to happen in 6 months. Remember, the Montgomery bus boycott took 12 months and a lot of working together. So black people, stay y'all behind out of them Asian stores, on them corner stores, the hair stores. And I'm not telling you to go to the Arab stores because I don't go in them either. Find you some black businesses to go to. It ain't that hard, man. But thanks for taking my call, Gerard. Oh, hold on. Juneteenth you talked about. And you talk about Texas. I thought New Orleans had a Juneteenth celebration every year.
I see that Captain Charles is doing a Juneteenth New Orleans celebration and market, and it will be held on June 19th from 3 to 8 p.m. at Vibes Nation on Religious Street. Tickets are $10. And the event will feature live music vendors and spoken word artists. And Tanya Boyd Cannon is one of the hosts. I love her. And there's going to be musical performances by DJ Raj Smooth, DJ Captain Charles, and Sporty's Brass Band.
You know, because up here we have Juneteenth. It's the whole weekend. It's 3 days, and you have 3 different festivals. And it's not just Texas that does it. Juneteenth is reaching into Ohio. It's reaching into New York. It's all about what your city wants to do. And folks will be like, yeah, it's Texas. Yeah, we know that. No. The mayor of Orleans, ask her, does she even know what Juneteenth means? Or the city councilor, ask your buddy Red Bottoms, does he know what it means? But hey, I invite folks every year, and my house turns into a big old school slumber party for 3 days. Historic Rosewood Park. If you don't know what that park is, that's in. I'm pretty sure if you had somebody serve in World War II that was stationed back then it was called Camp Hood in Texas, they bused them to Rosewood Park up in here in East Austin, and that's where a lot of them met their future wives or girlfriends or had children. It was a whole bunch of good stuff that was going on then. So every year for Juneteenth, Rosewood, that park serves it's not only does it serve as the Juneteenth festival because we have a parade, we have a pageant, then you have the George Washington Carver Museum, and so many things that you can do, and then all of it is free.
Yeah,
that's the crazy thing about it. You don't have to pay for anything, and it all shuts down before 10 o'clock. So the violence is at a very minimum. But I just really wish that other cities in the South would really catch on to celebrating Juneteenth, and shout out to Captain Charles for doing that. But thanks for taking my call, Gerard. I'm going to get up off here, man. I've been cutting trees all day, and I'm tired, man.
All right, Galloway, 40 coming. 40 coming. There you go.
Yes, sir.
All right. Hey, Ron.
What's up with y'all, man?
What's happening?
Oh, man, I am pissed off to the highest of festivity. I ain't even lying to you. First, shouts out to the Fatherhood Roundtable as well as the Huey P. Newton Gun Club. Let me say this, man. All the ideas which y'all came up with. How you doing, Mimi Extraordinary? I'm sorry.
I'm doing well. Thank you. I'll take it. I'll take it. I'm missing my baby.
Straight up. I'm pissed off because of they charged Carmelo with murder today, but we waiting on the appeals process and all that kind of stuff too. All the ideas what y'all was saying, all of that sound good, but you can't expect people to do what they don't even know to do. As y'all know, my baby girl of 5 graduated on May 19th, which happens to be Malcolm X's birthday. In that graduation, they played the national anthem. They played that first, and then they played our national anthem. You will be amazed at how many people sat down after the national anthem was played, and when they started playing they stood up for the national anthem, but when Lift Every Voice came up, you would be surprised how many black people sat down. And it wasn't because, no, I'm not gonna give them no pass. It was because of ignorance, because they didn't know. And being ignorant just simply means you don't know. So if they don't know, or should I say, if some of us don't know that Lift Every Voice is our national anthem, right? how can we expect for them to even have sessions about pooling their money together or getting loans and things like that? Our community has been under siege since we've been here. And what's crazy is that people that look like us is some of the reasons why our community is in the way that is in. I mean, you look at this trial, Carmelo Anthony, right? You know, they made the white boy look like he was, you know, this, that, and the third, and they made Carmelo, like they always do, look like, you know,
straight up thug.
You know the game already, straight up. But they didn't say that the white boy was suspended. Now think about this: how many schools do you know suspend children for 2 days from bringing a gun to school? My point exactly. So they left all that out. But all I'm saying is this: we got to stop having conversations on this radio station that ends once this radio show goes off. You know, the problem that I have with some of these boule organizations in the city of New Orleans, they want to act like they're doing so much in the community. But when you give them the keys to your car and tell them to go to the community in which they're going to take care of, the community where they're going at, everything is already perfect already. And they wonder why our children is walking around. You know, I heard you earlier about why the children are walking around with the guns and all this there. Because they find more love from the people on the street corner and in the street gangs than they do in their own family or in their own personal communities. Like Mimi Bagnaris just read. I mean, I'm sorry. That's, you know, I'm just upset right now about that comment with the sister from the dollar store, right? It's on us to look out for us.
Yeah, it is. If we're not looking out for us, I can tell you nobody else is.
And it shows every day.
It shows every day. You're right.
Y'all go ahead, man. I'll keep doing what y'all doing. You heard
All right, hey, Ron.
Yeah, you're right.
We'll holla. All right, more coming up, y'all. Brother, hold tight.
AURN News.
This is Clay Kane. According to People, Queen Jean made Tony Awards history as the first openly transgender person to win a Tony. The activist and costume designer won Best Costume Design for a musical for Cats, The Jellicle Ball, at the 79th Annual Tony Awards on June 7th. In her emotional acceptance speech, Jean honored queer and trans communities, saying they must continue taking up space and shifting the paradigm. Cats the Jellicle Ball, a reimagining of the Andrew Lloyd Webber classic inspired by ballroom culture, entered the night with 9 nominations, including Best Revival of a Musical. Jean was also nominated for Best Costume Design for a Play for Liberation, which won Best Play. Cats the Jellicle Ball also won Best Direction of a Musical and Best Choreography. For AURN News, this is Clay Kane.
This is The Law and Your Legacy. I'm attorney Pete Hamilton.
I'm attorney Ryan Hamilton.
If you had $1 million, would you leave it to an 18-year-old?
Hopefully not, but that's exactly what can happen with a simple will. The money goes straight to your kids when they hit the legal age, no guardrails.
A trust lets you control when and how they receive their inheritance. You can set ages, milestones, or even make sure they finish school first.
Give them security, not a spending spree.
This is not legal advice. That's just a tip brought to you by Liberty Bank and Trust. For more information, go to libertybank.net or contact us at 504-915-5016.
Greetings and salutations. I am Elwood B. Coulon Smith, chairman of the board of the New Orleans Regional Black Chamber of Commerce. We'd like to invite you to tune in every Wednesday at 12 noon on WBOK to listen in on Black to Business and be a part of the movement that's going on. Thank you.
WBOK online at WBOK1230.com.
Here we go. The reality check on WBOK 1230 AM.
All right, folks, welcome back.
Thank you for welcoming me back.
You're just in time.
You know, I just want to say during the break, just out of curiosity, I looked up who was representing Carmelo Anthony. His lead defense attorney is a guy named Mike Howard. He's white. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, Aaron, But do you expect this white man to fight for us like we fight for us?
Hey, nope.
You know, Cynthia Wiggins said the other day, and I keep going back to her because she's fresh on my mind. She said Suzette treats us like we her only client.
Yeah.
And I know we're not. You heard her say that.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think you guys realize the importance of having representation that looks like you, that cares about you,
That understands you,
that makes you feel like you're their only client. And I'm not too sure Carmelo Anthony has that. This guy may be a great lawyer, but I just looked him up.
And there it is.
And there it is.
Boogity, 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 boogity.
You know, why y'all keep thinking their water wetter?
Your water is wetter. Your grass is greener. It's longer.
You want somebody to represent this boy and give it everything he got? Find a black mama or a black daddy who can look at him and see their own child.
Because that happens every day.
Absolutely.
And if you don't have anybody that understands the culture of black people and understands how this rolls, you're going to get rolled over.
Let me tell you, I'm in rooms where I hear white lawyers talk about black clients. It's disgraceful. And I have to challenge them about it all the time. And y'all just don't understand. There is something sinister almost about how they talk about you behind closed doors, and they're on the television with commercials flooding your television all night long with the black artists singing the nice jingle and the nice billboards, you know, all up and down Poitras Street, all over the interstate, and they calling you the N-word behind closed doors. I see it. I hear it. So, you know, I don't know what to tell y'all, but to them, you just another paycheck.
In advance.
Okay? Maybe his people, if they really care about saving his ass, need to get a black mama or a black daddy to fight for him. That's all I have to say.
At least look at the opportunities.
At least look at it. Because I know a lot of great black attorneys in Texas.
You know, one of
who
the
do
things,
this kind of work.
One of the things too, and I'll say this for here, that whenever there's that type of situation, one of the best defense attorneys, to me, has been Judge John Fuller.
John Fuller, I'm gonna tell y'all, if I were having to do that perp walk,
she gonna be laying down on the floor on her back with a
first
fit.
I'm gonna lay down on my back.
Yep.
If I gotta do the perp walk, I'm calling John Fuller.
Yep.
He's the truth.
Yep. John Fuller.
He's the truth. There are some lawyers that I give mad respect to because I know their grind, I know their work ethic, and I know their heart, and that they really care about their clients. And there are others who are putting on a show for y'all. They are putting on a show for you. Okay? I'm telling you. And it just, I guess because I've seen how the sausage is made and real recognize real, John Fuller is the truth. And I'm gonna say he's an excellent attorney. And the street committee was going to miss out on some excellent representation with him on the bench.
The street committee, yes.
Okay? But I also like him on the bench.
Yep.
Because I know he has a heart for people.
They messed over that man. They messed over him. So
if you know, you know.
John Fuller's going to be here, by the way. For those of you that don't know, he's going to be here on Thursday at 4 p.m. Make sure that you are tuned in. He's going to come in studio. John Fuller's going to be here. All right. That's going to wrap things up for us. I got to get Malcolm X's sister out of here.
He calls me that at least 10 times a day, okay?
And we're going to be We're going to be back tomorrow, fight the power.
We're going to take a nap first.
What'd you say?
Almost forgot.
Can't hear you.
I almost forgot to say it. It's Taco Tuesday.
That's right. Yo, head on over to 2020 Bell Chase Highway. Hit that untouchable cigar bar.
There you go. It's open today, too,
It's
right?
open today. It's open till
Right now?
10.
Till 10. All right. And don't forget Leslie. We can't forget Leslie. Leslie, one of our best viewers. Leslie Williams, happy birthday, baby. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, Leslie. All right, y'all. We out. We'll see you later.